justice was always bubbling, but it wasn't.
It wasn't the forefront.
Yeah, it weren't the forefront. So like worship leading, because remember, like for Colgap convention, we're doing songs and
encounter everything,
all of that stuff, and then it was just all like, okay, boop, and I was like, oh, it just stops like that, and it was that tug of war again. But I did, if I'm honest, it was time to stop at that season because, as you said, you can't drink off a plate, and that justice side was raising up, and I had a lot of fear as well, you know.
Fear about what?
When I released Define Me, it like blew. I didn't expect it to do what it did.
Blue.
And then all of a sudden, I just became shooketh. I know, it's weird. It's weird. So I had this tug of war with the justice thing. And then it's like a fear came over me, like...
In terms of the music thing?
In terms of the music thing, like, will it do as well as Define Me? Or like...
I get you.
Should I put something else out? Like, am I being true? Like, just all this stuff. And then it could be paralyzing at times.
Do you feel like you'll ever go back to the music thing? Or is it too soon to say?
It was somewhere in London, but it was an event where, and I didn't know there was even Christian music like this.
Really?
I was like, it was Christian rappers, and I was like, I've never heard of a Christian rapper before.
Wow.
And that was obviously before I became, I was a Christian, but I didn't really know about it. And I went to this and I was just like, and then my brother, like just below me, started doing Christian music as well. He started rapping and doing all of this stuff, and then he obviously fizzled off it and came off it. But the one thing I remember him saying all the time, because we were in Kent, he was trying to get in the scene, in the Christian scene in London, but he felt like there was no support or people didn't really want him there and everything like that. And I felt like we need to create something where there's a lot more support in the Christian music scene as well. And it's not just a thing where you have your own clique and then everyone's
trying to get into that clique.
Yeah, and it needs to be something that's like, regardless if you have your little clique there's a larger scene there for it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's where I felt that it needs to go, because I feel like my brother got hurt from that, and then he stopped making Christian music because he felt that there's no one really cares, you know what I mean? There's no support. Or if there is people that care, they see him as competition, and then it's like, you know what I mean? It becomes a whole thing.
I remember at the time, Kanye West saying, people telling him that he hasn't got a good voice as a rapper or whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna make sure every word that I write like bangs, basically. That was kind of a fuel for me, because I was never really confident in my voice like that, or even in my playing, but I was like, I'm gonna write so that you're gonna listen to what I'm gonna say. So I really did lean on what I was saying. So people were, I think, and are often engaged in the message or the story of what I'm saying as well. And then I had to kind of work on all the other stuff to be confident and learn to like my voice, become a better player. Do you know what I mean?
What is it like to be a black Christian single woman?
Yeah.
In 2022?
Wow. I think sometimes it's easy to feel like your biggest traits are your biggest flaws when it comes to the dating scene. Because, because like, let's take being a black woman. You know, recently there were statistics that showed that black women were actually the least matched on dating apps, you know? And then being a Christian as well. Then now there's only a certain group of people, a smaller niche group of people that you might be looking for, and even the ones who, even if let's say you're open and you're checking for other people, it's difficult because your morals just don't align. Been there, got the t-shirt, guys, it's not worth it. I'm telling you guys for free.
I think it's the desire to be understood. I think so. I'm a complex individual, so like I talked about with Icy and Top Air, like obviously I'm an introvert that does extrovert things. So those two do clash sometimes in my mind.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And a case in point is, if I'm going to do the sit down, I have to do, before we start the sit down, I have to walk. I have to go for a walk. Maybe even if it's 10 minutes, 10 minutes, I have to go walk on my own. No phone, nobody contacting me, because I need to now be alone in my thoughts. Because what I'm about to give out for the next hour and a half is a madness on my introvertness. So I thought I'm a complex person. It was actually one of the reasons why I didn't want to get married.
Really?
I don't want to get married. Why?
For someone else
to bring someone else into my complexities.
Never ever saw myself as overly like maternal.
Okay.
I've liked kids, but it's like, oh, you can go back to your mum. Like these ones are like, wait, you guys are still in my house. Oh yeah, they're mine. Yeah. Like, I never saw myself as overly maternal, and then I guess the relationship that my parents had, and you know, going on this journey and understanding and learning what love actually is. You know, it's been a challenge because I've gone this amount of time in my life not knowing what love was, not knowing what love from a father was. So then when I now got into a toxic relationship, my understanding was, well, this must be what love is, because this is what my mum went through, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously, God bless my mum, like I love her, but it's like she did the best she could with what she knew. But obviously from that, it does affect the children. So it's just like going through those healing processes, and then now I'm a mum, and it's like, ooh, I don't want to mess this up.
I broke down for like 3 to 4 days. I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't tell you why I was crying. She asked me a triggering question, and it just caused me to think. And bro, I was just stuck inside this dead place as a believer of, do people like me? Does anyone see me? So I remember it clearly. I was in ARC. One of the brothers went up to give a testimony, and he said, I left the church because I didn't get the stage quick enough. And I heard the testimony was beautiful, but when he said that, something stuck with me, and I said, why do you want the stage? And then I went into my head, and I was like, wait, do people like me for me, or do they like me for the stage? And I was just stuck in this thing of, wait, do I even have friends? Wait.
Now you're back at where you was when you were 11.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm questioning everyone around me, because I'm like, is this all real? Is this fake? Do people really love me, or do they love my gift? Which one is it? Because no one really asked me about my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, wait, I've been feeling alone this whole time.
I mean, there are different ways. There are different ways to show the love of God. It's difficult to kind of give a one size fits all approach, because everybody's life is so unique. The things that kind of come about and make their life what it is so unique and so different. So it takes a level of partnership, assistance, walking with that person. The people that I would say got through to me and I listened to the point of being like, well, let me just try it anyway, were the people that were walking with me, the people that would partner with me in life and were with me even whilst I was doing it. And one thing I've learned in being in church and especially in overseeing a church is people are going to do it whether you tell them to anyway. Whether you tell them to do it, whether you tell them not to do it, people are going to carry on doing what they want to do. And you can't hold yourself responsible for the things that somebody does. What you can hold yourself responsible or accountable for is how you treat them as they journey through the things that they do.